You ever walk past an old building and just wonder, about its story? It's like they're history books, but written in stone and wood. But to actually read them, well, you need a way to make sense of it all. So let's dive in, because today we're unpacking 3 really powerful lenses that'll help us classify and truly understand pretty much any heritage building you can find.
It seems like a simple enough question, right? What really gives an old building its value? Is it just that it's old? Or is it about beauty? Or maybe who lived there? The truth is, it's way more complex than that, and there's no single global rulebook. The real answer comes from looking at it from a few different angles.
All right, so our first lens, this one focuses on the most important part of any building, the people. We're calling this the human story. It's all about figuring out its purpose, who used it, and what it really meant to the society it was built for.
So the first big question you got to ask is, what was the intent here? Was this a place for the powerful, designed to show off authority, or was it a space for everyday people, built just for the community? Just answering that one question helps us split heritage into 2 really broad but super useful categories.
So, on one side, you've got your monumental buildings. Think of the big, grand stuff. Palaces, giant forts, huge cathedrals. These were built to impress, to be symbols of power and history. But then, on the other side, you have what we call vernacular buildings. And these are the simple homes, the local shops, the village markets. These places tell the quieter but just as powerful story of daily life, of community, and of tradition. And both are incredibly valuable. They just tell different parts of that human story.
And we can dig even deeper by figuring out a building's original job. I mean, look at this list. Was it a family home? A place of worship? Maybe it was the city hall where all the decisions were made, or a fortress meant to protect everyone. It could have been a theater for entertainment, or even an early factory. Each one of these functions tells us exactly what role that building played in the economy and the social fabric of its time.
Okay, so we've talked about the why. Let's shift gears to our second lens, which is all about the what. This is the tangible stuff, the physical building itself, what it's made of, and how it was actually put together.
Now this is where it gets really interesting, because the materials tell you so much. That local stone, that tells you about the geology of the region. See a lot of half-timber construction? That's a huge clue you're in a place that had a ton of forests, but maybe not great building stone. And adobe or earth construction, that's just a genius way to adapt to a hot, dry climate, using the very ground the building is sitting on. The stuff a building is made of is a direct line to its environment.
And this brings us to a slightly fancy term, morphological classification. But don't worry, it's not nearly as complicated as it sounds. Just think of it like an architect's toolkit for describing a building's anatomy. Its shape, its layout, how all the pieces fit together. It's basically how we decode its physical DNA.
So what's in that toolkit? Well, we're looking at things like how many floors it has, the layout inside, the style of the exterior walls, even how it sits on its piece of land. Is it a big freestanding mansion, or is it crammed into a tight row of city houses? All these little details are like the building's unique fingerprint, and they're absolutely essential for documenting historic areas accurately.
Okay, for our third and final lens, I want you to just zoom out with me. We've looked at the purpose and the physical form. Now let's look at how the building fits into the bigger picture, its place in the world and, its official status.
This slide just nails the key idea. No building is an island. Its identity is totally shaped by where it is. A farmhouse out in the country and a merchant's house in a busy port city might be from the exact same time period, but their surroundings give them completely different stories to tell.
So we can classify buildings by their geographic context. Is it packed into a dense, historic city center, maybe with shops downstairs and apartments up top? Is it a rural building where its entire design revolves around farming? Or is it some incredible feat of engineering that's adapted to a harsh mountain or desert landscape? Each of these contexts just adds another rich layer to its identity.
And finally, within this bigger picture, you've got the whole question of official recognition. And here's something that's really important to get. Just because a building is old and really important to a community, that doesn't automatically mean it has any formal legal protection. There's often a big gap between social value and official value.
You can almost think of it like different levels of fame. At the very top, you've got the global superstars, the buildings on national or even World Heritage lists. Then below that, you have buildings that are recognized for their local value. They're the neighborhood's favorite landmark. And then you have this huge, super important category of buildings with potential value, structures that have inherent importance but just haven't been officially recognized yet.
So, let's put this all together. we have our three lenses: the human story, the physical form, and the wider context. The real magic, the full story, only happens when you stop looking through them one by one, and instead you start layering them on top of each other.
So let's recap real quick. Lens 1, the human story, asks why was it built? Lens 2, the physical form, asks what is it made of and how's it designed? And Lens 3, the wider context, asks where does it fit into the world? See? Together they give you that complete picture.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that a heritage building isn't valuable just because it's old. Its true identity is this rich, complex blend of its original purpose, its physical form, and its one-of-a-kind place in the wider world.
It's a really powerful way to see the world a little differently. So, the next time you're walking down a street you've seen 1,000 times, just take a second. Try on these lenses, because now that you have them, what new stories are the buildings around you gonna tell?